This story is called Sore Beast. So I lived in a lot of places. This is actually the 17th neighborhood I've lived in, and it is the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life, and it's a total of 9 years now. So a little context. So this is 1989. My family had just moved back from Mexico City, where we did a stint for 3 years. And we were in a neighborhood called Montgomery at the intersection of 508 and 206. It was in between Trenton and Princeton. And, you know, it was an interesting time in my life because I had just come back from being overseas, had been exposed to, you know, extreme poverty, living in a city with 24 million people where you literally couldn't see, you know, across, like, imagine to Amory because the pollution was so bad. And it really kind of influenced how I perceive things. And so coming back to New Jersey, being 14 years old, I was, you know, trying to fit in, wanted to feel comfortable. And so the first group of friends that I made weren't the greatest kids. And they were kind of tough guys. They got into some trouble. A bunch of them got arrested. But, you know, I was a good kid, but hanging out with some not so good kids. It's probably why my parents moved out of New Jersey into New Hampshire, but that's another beast story. But, you know, at that point in my life, I had like half my head shaved. You know, it was kind of cool. I had a jean jacket on. That was cool. What was even cooler is I had a Metallica patch on the back. Even cooler than that, I had all the girls I dated, their names on the back of my shirt. Woo! There was like 10 of them. That was cool. And so I used to skateboard too, and it was really like into it, right? I spelled it SK8. That was cool. And so we used to go to like Kendall Park and like show off. Our moms would drop us off, but we pretended that wasn't the case. And so I used to skateboard around my neighborhood, and I had a bunch of skateboard friends. One of my friends' name was Mike, and Mike lived kind of far from where I lived at the time. It seemed like a long distance. When you're 14, you don't have a car, you don't really think about stuff. But we lived in a neighborhood that was like 20 houses. It was like, felt like kind of the Mayflower Street because there weren't many in New Jersey. There was like still lots of farmland. But they did all this development, all these houses popped up everywhere. And when they made these new developments, they had these sewer systems, you know, like that sidewalks and stuff, and like in the middle of a farm field, which was strange. But I would have to skate by, you know, down the street past these sewer systems or the little drains. But I had this little thing I was scared of, and still am, sort of. But I used to think that there was a beast in the sewer system. And so when I would skateboard home or on the way to my friend's house, especially when it was dark, I would not skateboard near the sewer. And so I'd go around it, I'd walk over it. I'd have my mom drop me off sometimes, but she didn't know why. And that's my story. Thank you.